Okay. Good morning, all. Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Abhishek. So this is my first class after the Puja vacation. Hope all of you have enjoyed the vacation well, as well as you have given the mid-semester examination also well. I didn't check all the copies, but hope the questions are very much easier, and I have given questions from a very short portion so that you can study it properly before the examination. So just before I start discussing, just tell me in the last class which I have taken before the puja vacation. Perhaps I have discussed how to find the harmonic conjugate by using two methods. I have told that total there are three methods. So I hope I have discussed two methods to find out the harmonic conjugate. No, have I discussed both the methods or I have discussed one method? Anyone tell me? The last class before the puja vacation, I have discussed now that if fz is an analytic function which can be written in the form of u plus iv, if u is known or v is known, we can find out its counterpart. That means if u is known, we can find out v. If v is known, we can find out u. So I have discussed two methods. Have I discussed both the methods? I have discussed only one method. I can't remember actually. Can anyone tell me?
Sir, I think you have done two methods only.
Sorry, I can't hear you
Sir,
properly.
two methods only, I think.
Okay, two methods. No? Okay. Just I'm summarizing the two methods again. Then I'll discuss the third method. Okay. Okay, let me share the screen. Okay. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just I'm summarizing, although I have discussed two methods since I have discussed a month ago. So that's why I'm discussing it again. Just I'm summarizing. I'm not discussing any problem because I hope I have discussed two problems with the help of two methods. Just I'm discussing the method and then I'll discuss the third one. So what is the harmonic conjugate? I have discussed in the last class also that if FZ is analytic, then FZ which can be written in the form of u plus iv. So both uxy and vxy are harmonic functions. Which means del 2 u del x2 plus del 2 u del y2 equals to 0 and del 2 v del x2 plus del 2 v del y2 equals to 0. And since fz is analytic, so the consequences of fz to, being analytic is that first one is all the partial derivatives del u del x, del u del y, del v del x, del v del y are continuous, and it will satisfy the Cauchy-Riemann equation. That means del u del x equals to del v del y and del u del y equals to minus del v del x. These two, and both are inclusive. That means if fz is analytic, then its real and imaginary part will be harmonic functions, as well as if u is harmonic corresponding to which v is another function which is harmonic, then by clubbing both in the form of u plus iv, the function which we are getting fz will be obviously analytic. So both are inclusive. So what is the harmonic conjugate? Harmonic conjugate means if fz is analytic, then obviously u and v will be the harmonic functions. So u is called as the harmonic conjugate of v and v is called as the harmonic conjugate of u. That means they are mutually harmonic conjugates. So if FZ is analytic, then for the function of complex variable only, if U is known, then we can find out V, and if V is known, we can find out U. So that is the importance of the function FZ to be analytic, because if FZ is analytic, then we in order to form a complex valued function, we don't require both the real and imaginary part. If real part is known and the function is harmonic, we can frame the imaginary part, we can find the imaginary part. And if FZ is harmonic, FZ is analytic and V is known, then we can find out the real part. So total there are 3 methods. So I have discussed first 2 methods, I guess. So just I'm summarizing so that those who have forgot, you can remember it. So what is the first method? So let's say U is known. So since U is known, we need to find out V. We need to find V. So for that, we know that dV, the total differential of V, can be written in the form of del V del X into dx plus del V del Y into dy. Now, since V is not known to us, so del V del X and del V del Y will be unknown to us. But U is known. So since U is known, so the partial derivative of U with respect to X and partial derivative of U with respect to Y will be known to us. These are known. So what we will do, since FZ is analytic, whose real part is U, so that's why U and V will satisfy the Cauchy-Riemann equation. So that's why we can replace del V del X and del V del Y in terms of del U del X and del U del Y by using the Cauchy-Riemann equation. So as per the Cauchy-Riemann equation, del V del X equals to minus del U del Y and del V del Y equals to del U del X. So since U is known, so this will be known to us. So this is say M and this is, let's say, N. So this differential equation will be in the form of M dx plus N dy. That is equals to dV. So we can verify that here this differential equation will be exact. That means del M del Y will be equals to del N del X. So since this differential equation is exact, so we can integrate both sides and we'll be getting the value of V, Vxy. So what we'll do? So we'll integrate M with respect to X by keeping Y constant. We'll integrate only those terms of N with respect to Y which doesn't contain X. Then we'll add them. Then we'll get the value of V. So in that way, by using this first method, if U is known to us, we can find out V. Similarly, if V is known to us, just U will be replaced by V. V is known to us. That means we need to find out U. So del U can be represented in the form of del U del X dx plus del U del Y dy. And del U del X and del U del Y can be represented in terms of del V del X and del V del Y. Then by solving this, we can actually evaluate the unknown part. So this is the first method. Can you all remember this? If you have any kind of doubts, you could ask me. Since I have discussed the example before the puja vacation, so I am not discussing it again. If you ask me to discuss it again, then I can discuss if you forget it. So can you remember this?
Sir, please repeat, sir. Please discuss it.
So this method I have discussed though. Should I discuss example?
Yes, the example.
Okay. Let's say Uxy is half log x square plus. Say Uxy is half log x square plus y. So we need to find out the harmonic conjugate. So to find out the harmonic conjugate, first we actually need to verify that U is a harmonic function. That means here you can differentiate this partial with respect to x and y, and you can show here that del 2u del x2 plus del 2u del y2 will be equals to 0. So we need to find out V. So del V will be del V del x into dx plus del V del y into dy. So del V del x will be replaced by U since U is known here. So this will be del U del y minus del U del y dx plus del U del x dy. So if U is this, so what will be del U del y? Del U del y means we need to differentiate this function U with respect to y partially. So half log of this will be 1 by x square plus y square. Then derivative of this with respect to y partially, that will be 2y. So this one dx plus we need to differentiate this U with respect to x partially. So this will be half 1 by x square plus y square into 2x. So it will be derived. into dy. So ultimately this will be here, one minus sign will be here. So minus y by x square plus y square dy dx plus x by x square plus y square dy. So this is our aim. This is our aim. So to verify that del m del y equals to del n del x, we need to differentiate. The aim is here minus y by minus y by x square plus y square. So this will be exact if del m del y equals to del n del x. So what will be del m del y? Del m del y means we need to differentiate this partially with respect to y. So this denominator square plus denominator will be fixed. The derivative of this with respect to y partially, that will be minus 1 minus this minus y will be fixed and then 2y. So that will be x square minus y square. This will be plus 2y square. So plus 2y square minus y square. So that will be, sorry, have I made some mistake? Oh, yeah. So this will be minus y square minus x square by x square plus y square whole square. Now what is a now? N is here x by x square plus y square. So del n del x. This will be x square plus y square whole square. X square plus y square will be fixed. This will be 1 minus x into 2x. So here also this will be y square minus x square by x square plus y square whole square. So del m del y equals to del n del x. So this is exact differential equation. So then we'll integrate this with respect to the rules of exact differential equation. So if I integrate both sides, this will be vxy, and we need to integrate this with respect to x partially by keeping y constant. So y is constant, so minus y will be fixed, and this will be 1 by x square plus constant square. This will be 1 by a tan inverse x by a. You know this formula. This will be this plus we need to integrate only those terms of n, since already we have integrated with respect to x both x and y. So that's why, as per the rules of exact differential equation which you have studied in second semester, you know that here we need to integrate only those values or those terms of n which doesn't contain x. So here this term contains x, so we don't need to integrate this anymore. So this will be 0 plus c. So that is our required function vxy. That means required imaginary part. So what will be our complex valued function which we are trying to find? That will be uxy plus ivxy. That means half log x square plus y square minus I into tan inverse x by a. Is that clear or not? Is it clear, or do you have any doubt?
So it will be x by y, right?
Sorry,
So it will be x by y.
x by y. Oh, sorry, yeah, x by y, not constant is here. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, is that clear?
So in the exam, we have to write this final, like the entire equation.
Yeah, if it is if you're asked that you need to find out the complex function, you need to frame the complex function, then you need to write this. Otherwise, if it is asked to find the only harmonic conjugate, then you need to find out v.
Okay, sir.
Was that clear? Have you all understood?
Yes.
If any kind of doubts you have, then you can ask me.
Sir,
Any
as
doubt? Yeah.
you already know, the differential equation which will be formed will be exact. So we need to show dm by dy and del
Yeah,
m by
so
del
you can write here. I have shown here, but since you can write here, since this since u and v are harmonic functions, so obviously this differential equation will be exact. You can write this term also without showing that.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Because this will be obviously exact because u and v are harmonic. That's why del 2u del x2 will be equals to. I have shown in the previous classes also in general case how this is going to be an exact differential equation. So you can write this also without showing this part. You can mention here that Since u and v are harmonic functions, so that's why this differential equation will be always an exact differential equation. Okay, is that clear? Is that clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Then I'm going to discuss the second method, which I have also discussed before the puja vacation. So what is the second method? The second method means we'll start with the Cauchy-Riemann equation. So as per the Cauchy, let's say u is known. We need to find out v. U is known. Find v. So as per the Cauchy-Riemann equation, del u del x equals to del v del y, and del u del y equals to minus del v del x. So since we need to find out v, so first we'll start with this equation. Del v del y equals to del u del x. Now since u is known, so this will also be known. So we'll integrate this partially with respect to y both sides. So we'll integrate partially with respect to y. Since we need to find out v, so this will be vxy, that will be equals to del u del x dy, plus the constant will be here a function of x. While we are integrating partially with respect to y, the constant of integration will be a function of x, because while you are differentiating this, you need to get this, because the opposite process of integration is differentiation. If you differentiate this equation partially with respect to y, that will be del v del y, and this will be del u del x. And since we are differentiating with respect to y partially, so the function which contains x will be constant, so this will be 0. So that's why, like the normal integration here, the integrating constant will not be a constant only, rather it will be a function of x while we are partially integrating with respect to y, and while we are partially integrating with respect to x, the integrating constant will be a function of y. I have discussed this earlier. So then what do we need to do? Then here from this equation we are getting that del v del x minus del v del x equals to del u del y. So del u del y is known to us. Since u is known to us, so we need to equate this with del v del x. So how come we can get del v del x? So to get del v del x, we need to differentiate this equation which we have got partially with respect to y. So differentiating this partially with respect to x, will be getting del v del x equals to del x of this quantity plus this will be phi dash x. Now here, since this integration you know, so the value of integration is known to us, so this will be known. This is only unknown. So just we will put it here. So this time is known, this time is known. So by solving this, we will get the value of phi x. So we'll be inserting here the value of phi x, and then we can get the value of vxy. Okay, so let me discuss one problem, then I guess it will be clear. Have you understood this method? Was that clear? Have I discussed this before the puja vacation? Have I discussed this or not? Can anyone tell me whether I have discussed this method before the puja vacation? Anyone?
I can't remember this.
Sorry?
I can't remember that it was discussed or not.
Okay. So have you understood this method? So just I'm
Yes,
giving
sir.
one example. So let's say uxy is given as e to the power x cos y. So you need to find v. So if you use the second method, then what you need to do first, you need to show that this is an harmonic function. This is a harmonic function, So you need to show that del 2u del x2 plus del 2u del y to 0. First, you will show that. After that, we'll be using the Cauchy-Riemann equation. So as per the Cauchy-Riemann equation, del u del x equals to del v del y, and del u del y equals to minus del v del x. Okay. So then here we'll start with this equation first. So del v del y equals to del u del x. So what is del u del x? So u is given over here. So del u del x means e to the power x cos of y, because sorry, del u del x, yeah, del u del x is this, because u is this. So while we are differentiating this partially with respect to x, the terms which contains y will be fixed, and derivative of e to the power x with respect to x will be e to the power x. Okay. So what we'll do, first we'll integrate this with respect to y partially. Integrating with respect to y partially. What will get? This will be vxy. This will be equals to e to the power x cos y dy, plus since we are integrating partially, so integrating constant will be a function of x. Now while we are integrating this with respect to y partially, the terms which contains x will be fixed constant, so e to the power x, and which is the integration of cos y with respect to y. What will be the value of integration with respect to y? Cos y.
Sin y.
Sin y.
This will be sin y. Sin y plus phi x. Now we need to consider this equation. As per this equation, del v del x will be equals to minus del u del y. So what is minus del u del y? Minus del u del y is uxy is this. So del u del y, we need to differentiate this partial with respect to y. So e to the power x will be constant. So the partial derivative of cos y with respect to y will be minus sin y.
Minus sin y.
Okay. Is that clear? Is
Yes,
that clear
sir.
or not? Okay. Then what will be del v del x? Del v del x means we need to differentiate partially with respect to x.
So you missed a minus sign before the e to the power x.
Where?
Uh,
Here.
Yes.
Yeah, this will be one minus sign. Sorry. Yeah. Then differentiating this partially with respect to x. What will get? Del v del x. The partial derivative of this with respect to x will be e to the power x sin y plus phi dash x. So just we'll insert this here in the left hand side. So this will be e to the power x sin y plus phi dash x. So this is plus of this will be deducted. So ultimately this equation will be converted to phi dash x equals to 0. Phi dash x means this is the only ordinary derivative of phi with respect to x. This is 0. So if you integrate this, so this phi x will be a constant c. So what will be your v? So vxy already you have obtained. So just you need to put it here a constant. So vxy will be e to the power x sin y plus c. So what will be your required function? So required function fz will be u plus iv. So u is here e to the power x cos y plus I into this v will be e to the power x sin y plus. Is that clear? Is that clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So these are the two methods. So now there is one more method, that is called the Milne-Thomson method. Milne-Thomson method. So what is the advantage of this third method? So in the first two cases, if you need to find out or construct the analytic function, whenever u is known, you need to find out v, or whenever v is known, you need to find out u. Then you need to club them together to get the functional value of z. So in the case of Milne-Thomson method, if real part of the function is known, real part of the analytic function is known, u is known, say, then without finding out v, without finding out its harmonic conjugate, directly we can construct fz. Directly we can construct fz. So that is the importance of this third method. So in the previous two methods, what we have done? So if U is known, we have found out first its harmonic conjugate V, or if V is known, we have found out the harmonic conjugate U first. Then we have combined them together in the form of U plus IV in order to find out the or construct the analytic function. So the Milne-Thomson method, if U is known, without finding out the V, directly we can construct the function fz in terms of z. No xy terms will be present there. There will be only function of z. That means only the variable will be in terms of z. Okay. So how we can do so? And how we can find out what is the method? So just I'm going to discuss. So you know that f dash z can be written in the form of the partial derivatives with respect to u and v. That means del u del x plus I del v del x, or del u del y plus I del v del y. In that way, we can represent the derivative of a complex valued function. Can you remember this?
Yes, sir.
So since u is known here, so let us consider this one. So since u is known here and fz is analytic, so we can write down this in the form of del u del x, and v will be converted to u by using the Cauchy-Riemann equation. So that will be I del u del y. Now uxy and vxy are the functions of x and y. But in order to frame the function fz directly, we need to convert xy in terms of z. So here also, these two will be functions of x and y, because if uxy, u and v are functions of x and y, so obviously their partial derivatives will be functions of x and y. So we need to convert this xy in terms of z, so that we can directly construct fz. No xy terms will be present over there, just z will be present. So how we can do so? So here fz is uxy plus ivxy. So that is the relationship between the real and imaginary part of fz and fz. So now you know that z is x plus iy. So what is z bar? So z bar will be x minus iy. Now somehow we need to convert this xy in terms of z. So how we can do so? If you add this together and divide by 2, that means z plus z bar by 2, what will you get? You will get x. And if you subtract them and divide by 2, so z minus z bar by 2i, that will be y. Have you understood this or not? So here, in order to construct fz directly, no xy terms will be present, because here while we have constructed fz, xy terms is present. But here we want to construct directly fz, so no xy will be present. So xy need to be converted in terms of z. So how we can convert this xy in terms of z? We know that z equals to x plus iy. So z bar will be x minus iy. So if you add them together and divide by 2, you will be getting x. If you subtract them and divide by 2i, you will be getting y. Is that clear? Is that clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you put it here, then fz will be u, x is z plus z bar by 2, z minus z bar by 2i, plus iv, z plus z bar by 2, z minus z bar by 2i. So now, in order to construct the function in terms of z, fz, no z bar will be present. So how we can eliminate z bar? So here, if I consider z equals to z bar, so z and z bar is arbitrary. So any value of z and z bar we can consider. But if we consider z equals to z bar, then it will be u z0 plus iv z0. That means x is substituted as z and y is substituted as 0. If we put z equals to z bar, then only fz will be converted in terms of function of z. So here f dash z will be converted to del u del x z0 minus I del u del y z0. So f dash z means df dz. Now, since this is a function of z only, so we can integrate normally both ends with respect to z to find out the value of fz. That will be del u del x z0 minus I del u del y z0 dz plus. Is that clear? So here, if u is given, without finding out v, we want to construct fz. So that's why what we are doing, we need to convert xy in terms of z. So fz is given in the form of this. So we are substituting x in terms of z plus z bar by 2 and y in terms of z minus z bar by 2i. But in order to construct the function in terms of z, no z bar will be present. So that can be only done if we put z equals to z bar. So that will be z, this will be 0. So first function, there is a function of two variables where the first component is z, second component is 0. So that is quite resemble with this. So x is substituted as z and y is substituted as 0. So here in the partial derivative also, since they are functions of x and y, we can substitute x by z and y by 0. Then this will be converted in the right hand side will be converted in the function of z only. So then we can integrate both ends with respect to z per se, z by the normal integration and we'll be getting the value of fz.
Sir, but why did we choose z equal to z bar?
Sorry,
Sir, why did we choose z equal to z bar?
we have chosen z equals to z bar because here we want to construct fz. So if you consider a function of complex variable in terms of z, so no z bar will be present there. So we need to eliminate somehow the z bar from here. But in order to convert xy in terms of z, we need z bar. Otherwise, we can't convert xy directly into z. So that's why we are taking the help of z bar first to substitute xy in terms of z and z bar. Then we are, this is arbitrary. Z and z bar can be arbitrary. So this, since these are arbitrary, so this is one possibility that z equals to z bar. So whenever z equals to z bar, then only there will be a solution and we'll be getting x as z and y as 0. Because in order to construct the function fz, we don't need z bar there. That will solely be a function of z. So we need to eliminate z bar.
Sir, are there any other possibilities where we can use some other equation, like instead of z equal to z bar? Because we know the property that mod z equal to z into z bar, right?
Yeah.
So from there, can we use that equation to like get z bar from there?
Yeah, mod z, if you consider mod z, then mod z is not a function of z. Mod z actually a real function, that is square root of x square plus y square. So again, there will be x square plus y square.
Okay, sir.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So then we don't get the z again. There will be z xy mixed up. So in order to eliminate xy completely and to get the functional value in terms of z, we actually need to substitute. This is the easiest option. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, just I'm showing through an example. Let's say u is given as e equals to the power minus x sin y minus y cos y. So here, since this function is not very much easier, so if you are asked to find out v first, then construct fz in terms of u plus iv, so that will be very much tough. But if you use the Milne-Thomson method, that will be quite easier for you to find out. Okay, so how we can find it out? So here we know that f dash z is del u del x is a function of xy plus I del v del x is a function of xy. So since only u is given here, so we need to change this plus minus I del u del y xy. This one. Okay. Now we need to find out del u del x. So what will be del u del x? We need to differentiate this partially with respect to x. So del u del x means first we'll need to differentiate this by keeping this constant. So this will be minus e to the power minus x into x sin y minus y cos y. Again, e to the power minus x fixed. Then partial derivative of this, that will be sine y, and that will be constant because that is a function of y only. Minus I into del u del y. Del u del y means this is a function of x, so that will be constant e to the power minus x. Then partial differentiation of this with respect to y. So that is x cos y minus cos y is a product of two terms in y. So first, by differentiating this by keeping this constant, then we are keeping y constant, and the derivative of cos y with respect to y, so that will be minus sine y. That means this will be plus this. Is that clear? Is that clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Now, as per the previous discussion, if we put z equals to z bar, then x will be substituted as z and y will be substituted as 0. So here we will be putting x as z and y will be 0. So if you put it here, so this will be minus e to the power minus z into z, sine 0 is 0, minus this will be 0, minus e to the power minus z, sine 0 will be 0, minus I to the power minus z, this will be z, cos 0 will be 1,
What?
minus again this will be cos 0, so minus 1, and this will be 0. So ultimately f dash z will be minus I e to the power minus z to z, or if you take z common, e to the power minus z sorry, this will be I e to the power minus z, z minus 1. So then fz will be I integration of e to the power minus z into z minus e to the power minus z dz. So this is a function of z, so you can integrate with respect to z normally. So here you can use the integration by parts because two functions are there, product of two functions. So integration by parts means first z will be fixed, the integration of this, so this will be to the power minus z, that is minus derivative of z will be 1, the integration of this will be to the power minus z, so this will be 1 minus sign, so this will be plus, minus integration of this with respect to that, this will be to the power minus z, 1 plus sign will be there, plus c. So that is I minus z e to the power minus z, that is minus e to the power minus z plus e to the power minus z plus c. That will be deducted. That will be I minus z e to the power minus. So in that way, directly you can get the complex valued function. Okay. Without getting the real and imaginary part. So you can cross verify this with the help of previous method. So u is given over this. So v is given, you can find out the harmonic conjugate v, you can club them together in order to form u plus iv. Then the function which you will get will be same as if you put here z equals to x plus iy and convert it in terms of x and y, both will be same. But here it will be quite easier because you don't need to find out v, directly you can construct fz. But in the previous two methods, you are first finding out v if u is given, then adding them together to frame the function. Okay. So while it will be given to you that construct the analytic function, then you need to use this method, the third method. And otherwise, if it is given in the problem that find out the corresponding harmonic conjugate of the given function, then you need to use the any one of previous two methods. Is that clear?
Yes.
Is that clear or not?
Sir, in the second last step, how you cancelled e minus z?
This one.
Yes, sir. The process below that, the step below that, we should add.
This one.
Yes, sir. It is
This
that
one.
third e to power minus z is out of integral.
This one.
No, sir. Third last.
This one.
Third last, sir. Third last. Third from the last.
Okay, this one, yeah. Yeah, this is integration by parts. Integration by parts means this is the first function. So this is fixed. The integration of this will be this minus of this plus actually minus derivative of this will be 1 integration of this and again integration of both with dz. Is that clear or not?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
This is integration by parts, so because this is the product of two functions in z. Okay. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So there are other few properties which we can solve by using the Cauchy-Riemann equation. These are applications of differentiation. Like these problems I have solved in PPT. I'll be sharing this in Google Classroom. So if FZ is analytic, and mod of FZ is constant. Sorry, mod of FZ is constant. Then FZ itself will be constant. Then like if FZ is analytic, del 2 del x2 plus del 2 del y2 mod of f dash z, sorry, mod of fz whole square, this will be 4 of mod of fz dash whole square. So these are all a few properties, few applications of the entire first chapter. Then the first chapter will be finished. So I'll be sharing the PPT in the Google Classroom where this kind of problems are solved. So just try to go through all these things. And after that, if you can't understand, then in the next class, I'll be discussing those problems. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sir, please share this note.
This note, okay. Just wait. In the chat box, just have mentioned, okay, I just have shared the link. So before I end the class, just copy it and keep it with you. So those who have the account in Evernote, so you can just log into it and see them. Let me take your attendance manually, then I'll be sharing the IMCRP test link.
Sure. This is Mrityunjoy Sen.
Sorry?
This is Mrityunjoy Sen, sir. We
Yeah.
have digital electronics class starting from 11:30 now. I hope you have wrapped it up.
So just I need to take the attendance. After that,
Sir,
I'll
I have
share
only,
the.
you take it offline or some other way, sir. I need to start it now.
Sorry,
I need to start it now, sir.
but I didn't take the attendance
Sir, maybe
because I have started the classes 11:45 because first period was till 11:40. That's why I have started it late.
so I will take it and pass it on to you, sir.
So I need to share the link or exam link also. The last share me link. Just wait for a moment. It's 11:29 actually. It's not 11:30. So I don't know why.
11:31. Actually, the previous class was supposed to finish by 11:20. then there was 10 minutes of relaxed time. So at 11, this class is supposed to start from 11:30, sir.
So this is the link. So just click on the link and provide your full enrollment number and the codes and complete the class test. Okay. So do it ASAP before your next class starts. Okay. Thank you all for attending today's class. Have a good day.
Students, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm extremely sorry. You are not getting, the time 5-10 minutes that you get between two classes. We will try to, wrap up as quick as possible so that at least before break or during break you get enough time. Okay. So let me share my screen. Hope you all